Ugh, Doctor, look at the size of that podcast.
I know, Jamie, it is very big, isn't it?
Welcome back to Mad Fans of the Podcast. As you know, I'm Alexis.
I'm James,
And I'm Scott.
and we're
All
mad. We're delightfully mad.
You sound like a serial killer. But anyway.
A congested serial killer.
Oh gosh, those are the
I'm a
worst
very
kind.
specific type.
Very rare, but very dangerous.
So,
I'm John Wayne Gacy.
What?
Okay, enough of that.
okay, no. Anyway, so since we are recording this after the 12th Doctor has been announced, of course we got to talk about him.
But we're gonna pretend that we don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I guess it's kind of weird about the way we're recording this because we've recorded our finale before we've recorded this episode, and now that we've recorded this episode and we know who the 12th Doctor is, our finale won't include anything about the 12th Doctor, so now we're just going to do this instead.
Okay. Although our finale is more of a general type of thing, so it works.
Yes.
That's true.
So, anyway, for those of you who have been living under the rock for about the past 24 hours or so, one of you want to pronounce his name?
Peter Capaldi.
Because we all know I cannot be trusted with names.
Peter Capini? Peter Panini.
More
Panini,
massively
that's his
mispronounced
name right
doctor names.
I like Peter Panini. I might have to call him that.
That will go along with Paul McDoodle.
Paul McDoodle and Peter Panini.
Okay, yes. So he is a 55-year-old British actor.
Scottish.
White. Oh yeah, oh my
British,
gosh.
Scottish is British, but still.
Yeah, no, Scottish. I don't want
Scottish, sir. Can I ask you a question? I'm speaking English, sir.
I don't want the Scottish people coming after me because I accidentally called them British. So my apologies.
Oh, they're highly offended.
I'm highly offended.
Shut up.
I'm mildly offended.
Nobody cares.
I get offended over everything now.
Okay, so anyway, he has been announced to play the 12th Doctor. So we have that. He has appeared in Doctor Who before. He was in
Fires of Pompeii.
Yes, and he was also in Children of Earth in Torchwood. Who, for those of you who watched that, might remember he played Frobisher, the crazy politician who tried to feed children to aliens. So that's nice.
Not the good Frobisher that went along with the 6th Doctor for a little bit.
No, different guy.
Frobisher.
Bad Frobisher.
Not a talking penguin that we all have come to know and love.
No.
Or at least tolerate for some of us.
Or at least tolerate, yes.
Yes, I did not like Bad Frobisher and Torchwood.
Don't get sassy, Scott. Don't get sassy.
Oh, anyway. So, yes. He has been confirmed to play him. So, I like that he is playing the Doctor. I like that there's an older Doctor again. The immediate vibe I got off of them when he came out, though, or at least this is how I feel he's going to be. This is my prediction. That he is going to be very similar in attitude to the 3rd Doctor. I don't know why I'm thinking this.
To me, go ahead.
I was going to say, he's already been described as a classic Doctor with a new era budget, which I absolutely like. There's something about him that I like already. Like, I don't know, everyone else is saying they don't like him because he's old, but there's something about him that I just absolutely love. And I think it's because he's dropped acid with Craig Ferguson.
That's very true. I did see that interview actually last night. But I think he's going to be a lot like Tom Baker in a sense because that's just a vibe I'm getting from him when he, said, "Hi, I'm Peter Capaldi and I'm the Doctor." He sounded very Tom Baker-esque. And the promotional picture they have with him in the TARDIS, he's wearing a long greenish scarf.
not a promotional picture, a fan-made picture.
That was fan-made?
It was fan-made.
I mean, I knew it looked like the Sonic Screwdriver was photoshopped in, but
it was a fan-made picture.
Oh, that actually shocks me. So
yeah, that was.
No promotional pictures have been released yet of his costume or anything else, but
the only picture we've seen that's an official picture is him kind of head up. You can see kind of like a suit type thing on him, but that's it.
I'm just going to go on the record here and say I am extremely happy with their choice in the new Doctor.
I'm
just for the simple fact that, as I was stating before, now granted, he's been in a couple movies recently. I don't know how exactly well known he is, but he is an older actor, which I really, really wanted because I'm very tired of the young hipster Doctor that we have currently.
Yeah, I know, right? Get off my TARDIS!
That's no offense to you, Scott, and I understand what you mean, but that's what I heard.
Yeah! Get out of my TARDIS or I'll call the police!
Oh, wait, I am the police.
I am the police! I'll catch you when my wheelchair speeds up, I tell you.
Oh, gosh. What have we become?
We've become mad. Absolutely mad.
But, yeah, so I think it's safe to say that we've all accepted him as our Lord and Savior. But there is one thing that I would like to talk about.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I have to bring this up because Stephen Moffat, we have to talk about him. So
for once, he did something right, which I'm actually very impressed.
We'll see. It can always get screwed up later on, and so I will keep my hopes low for the moment. I will see when season 8 rolls around.
He did make a decent choice. I will give him that. But yes. I feel like he has foot and mouth disease where he should stop talking when he's ahead.
Well, it's just, to me, it's not, he's not a bad writer by any means. It's kind of the way that the show's been run recently with the newer writers, the newer editors, very 1980s Doctor Who-ish, and it's
you can say it, Jonathan Nathan Turner.
I don't want to speak those words again.
Stop. We can't start this again.
Show me where the Jonathan Nathan Turner touched you.
Oh
right
God.
Here.
I'm putting an end to this, so I'm going to continue on.
Sorry
really bad.
if we offended anybody. Mad Fans with a Podcast cares.
There's a reason I put a stop to that, but it frustrated me some of the things he said. I'm going to read off a quote.
Oh boy.
1 second.
I love quotes.
Oh yeah. He had said, I want to get your guys' opinions on this. It made my blood boil, but I like that Helen Mirren has been saying the next Doctor should be a woman. I would like to go on record and say that the Queen should be played by a man. He said that. For any of you who don't know or don't get why this quote is so anger-inducing, Helen Mirren has played the Queen in various things. I can't remember. And she is a lovely lady. And it kind of irks me that he would say something like that.
Well, we all know how Moffat is.
Moffat.
I know.
It's very Moffat-y.
It just makes me angry because he says things like that. He's also said things about how asexuality is terrible and boring, which I have friends who are asexual, so I take it to a very personal level. And all kinds of other horrible things. But
yeah, I agree.
It's just, it makes me frustrated with him. While he might not be as bad as Turner, some of the things he said just make me want to take my hand right around the neck and
give him a good neck hug with your hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he
needs a kiss on the neck from an alligator.
Wearing Crocs.
To end my angry feminist rant.
Wear Crocs.
It was interesting because as I was watching the special, I don't know what I was expecting because they were interviewing different people, past cast members. Even Stephen Hawking was on this special.
Random.
Stephen Hawking is the new Doctor. Yes.
That I would watch.
Daleks, do not move. Come here, Daleks.
Oh.
I have no shame.
Poor Stephen Hawking.
Apparently not.
Hey, we can get away with it. He's the most brilliant mind in the world.
Yes, he is.
He is a very brilliant man.
Stephen Hawking can definitely talk me under the table. I have nothing against the man. I absolutely adore his work. It's just if you can't laugh at yourself, who the hell can you laugh at anyway?
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
But all these people coming out in public support saying that we want a huge change. Not that Peter Capaldi isn't amazing. This is not about having him as the next Doctor. I adore him. I adore his choice. I think he's going to do a great job. I think he's a great actor. But having such a public outcry for, a person of color or a female or something different, and then just being like, nope.
Well, to me, it's more he was looking for the right person for the job, and it just happened to be Peter Capaldi. I don't think he was intentionally going away from women or African British Africans. But
Or
anyway,
any people of color, not just African.
any
Asian,
people of color,
anybody,
Middle Easterns, anyone. I don't think he was doing that intentionally, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm very pleased with who he chose, and I love watching the fangirl reaction videos and how pissed off they are. That made me.
There are videos.
That made me smile. Yes, there are reaction videos.
Gosh.
And they make me laugh every time because they freak out. Oh, he's so ugly. It makes me happy.
I'm gonna go find these. This will make
the essence of Schadenfreude there, I tell you. And I'm gonna use a big word today.
Ooh, yeah. But it's not about him. But I feel like, okay, yeah, if he hadn't said such horrible things about women in the past, I might believe that, okay, he chose the best actor for the job, blah blah blah. And I don't even care that it's a man. But it's just like when you say these public things, it makes me not like you.
Yes.
But
well, he drinks fans' tears out of a coffee cup every day.
With George R.R. Martin.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, okay. I actually like Mr. Martin, and
against everyone's will, I'm going to push this conversation along.
Sorry.
To well, no, it's okay. I'm taking charge. I'm commandeering this podcast. Again.
Aye, Captain.
We are going to move on to our focus for this week and the final focus of our podcast season, Doctors 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So, starting off with the wonderful Patrick Troughton and the brilliant William Hartnell, I believe two of the most important doctors of their time, both brilliant actors in their own time, and I have a high amount of respect for them both. William Hartnell started out as a very, very dramatic actor. He was always known as the villain. And when he got the role of the Doctor, he was so happy because now he could finally play a hero. He could finally play the one that everyone loved, and that was his big thing. And Patrick Troughton, who in my eyes is one of the most important Doctors of this whole show,
agreed.
One, pulled off and carried on the Regenerations, which is a huge part of the show, and introduced some very, very legendary and comedic villains, like the Ice Warriors and the Cardboard Crotons. Yes, the Cardboard Crotons. God bless
cardboard and tinfoil. Almost all of his enemies were made out of tinfoil, except for, I believe, the Yeti.
Yes, but even then, their insides were made of tinfoil.
That's very true.
They were all robots.
Oh.
But
ooh, I'm a crouton.
Would you like some tea with your crouton? No, croton, not crouton. Also, Patrick Troughton introduced the New Age Cybermen, which we've all come to know as the Retro Cyberman. But basically, they've gone from giant Cybermans with microwaves on their stomachs to something a little more tame, which is kind of awesome. So, with that being said, let us talk about what we love about Patrick Troughton.
I absolutely adore his energy. I think he was a great contrast from the first Doctor because he was a lot, at least to me personally, a lot more energetic, a lot more fun-loving and stuff, whereas the first Doctor was a lot more serious. And so, yeah.
I completely agree, and I'm going to add on to that. What isn't there to love about Patrick Troughton's run as the Doctor, except for
Very true.
one thing? There's one thing that I don't like about Patrick Troughton's run.
But we'll talk about that later.
I know, but I will say this: Patrick Troughton is definitely one of my favorite classic Doctors. He is way up there. I loved the Cosmic Hobo. He was very odd and quirky, and definitely a nice contrast from the crotchety old man, the grandfather figure of the first Doctor.
Yes. Well, for me personally, there are two things I like about the second Doctor. The first one, oh, I see you've redecorated. I don't like it. And my second favorite thing about the Patrick Troughton Doctor is the fact that he introduced the quote unquote playing dumb, but secretly knew what everything was going on and was secretly pulling strings behind everyone's back thing, which a lot of doctors actually use nowadays, but or a lot of at least the classic doctors use, and some of the new doctors use it. The secretly playing dumb thing and really knowing what's going on. Very nice. One of the things I do have to attest to in the Patrick Troughton era, though, we finally figured out what species the Doctor was. I believe in the War Games they introduced that the second Doctor called to his home race, the Time Lords, via the psychic messenger box, and that was kind of an interesting introduction into the Time Lord race. All right, let's try our best to figure out what we like about William Hartnell.
Oh, it's going to be
First
so hard.
Doctor.
Everybody hates that
What?
guy.
I don't hate him. I hated the sound direction. But what I personally like about the first Doctor, um, I thought he was very mysterious, and I really like the way that they took that. Very different, very inhuman, and they really did run with it. I liked his banter back and forth with Susan, and still to this day, he has, in my opinion, the best speech ever made, which is the "One day I shall come back" speech.
But along with one of the worst lines of the whole series, you're on your way to a smacked bottom. Come on, Grandpa. Susan is like 75 years old. Cut her some slack.
I kind of remember that line. I don't remember what episode that was from.
Same episode, dude.
Was it?
Yes.
That must not have been a very memorable
Susan
part.
sprains her ankle, and the doctor says, well, you're on your way to a smacked bottom now, aren't you? Or something like that.
Oh god, it's been so long since I've seen that. That was one of my first classic Who arcs that I watched.
I actually, that was sarcasm earlier. I adore the first Doctor. As somebody like me who, watched the classics, or not the classics, the new series or most of it first, and then went back. It was a nice surprise to see something a bit more mysterious and less human, like everybody else has said.
Yes.
I loved the dynamic between him and his kidnappees, Ian and Barbara.
Yes. Well, my personal thing is I absolutely adore the first Doctor because, one, it didn't make a big deal about the Doctor. I mean, the TARDIS wasn't a big deal. The Doctor and Susan being aliens weren't a big deal. I mean, it was mysterious. And me personally, I believe that the first Doctor had the most amount of growth out of any Doctor today. The Doctor started out as a very grumpy, crotchety old man and became a very fun-loving, caring, and compassionate old man. But I like the way they took him. I like his growth. He was a huge fanboy of not only the show, but of his fans himself. I mean, he loved his fans and would do anything for them. In fact, he was Grand Marshal of a parade several times as the Doctor, which is kind of awesome. But I like the whole banter back and forth. I like, his knowledge of the universe and his willingness to learn, and um, that's all I got. Okay, so moving on to some unfortunate things. What are some things that we don't like about Patrick Troughton's era?
Uh, Biggest one. This
Oh.
this is a huge one.
Scott, if you say the missing episodes, I'm going to slap you.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The missing episodes. That's the only thing I didn't like about Patrick Troughton's era.
Gosh darn it, we know Scott.
All of the arcs that I have watched of Patrick Troughton have been incredible. And I've watched, I think, all but the very end of the War Games. And
All
so,
right.
I mean, I would
War
love
Games
to
is
see.
an incredibly long episode.
It is. It's 10.
12.
It's 10 episodes long, which means 5 hours of watching.
I know it took me 3 days to watch it.
Not quite as bad as Trial of a Time Lord, which is, I believe, 7.5 hours when everything's said and done.
Trial of a Time Lord was ridiculous. Oh.
It took me 5 days to watch it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be.
Yeah,
sorry
go ahead.
To put this conversation back on track, but I'm gonna be the asshole who says it. The recorder.
What's wrong with the recorder?
Well,
I don't know.
You too, Alexis.
I've got to be that person. I just, not that I don't love his quirky adorableness, but that just got on my nerves, and I don't know why.
Hobo. A lot of hobos play random instruments.
He's like that hippie on the street that you want to throw a bucket of water on.
No.
I don't know.
Or a bucket of cosmic goo.
But
silence. Brought to you, James Hodge.
For me, I understand people like the recorder. Okay, it was like cute and funny a few times, but then as well, it's like, no, please no.
It's better than bow ties are cool.
Yeah.
Every other episode.
At least, yeah, that's true.
The one thing I didn't like about Patrick Troughton, I guess so far, I would have to agree with Scott. The missing episodes. There are so many awesome. Yeah, I know, right? There are so many awesome, groundbreaking things that happened in the missing episodes that we can only read about and listen to now. I mean, we don't have the visual evidence that they happened. We just know they happened. The Doctor meets the Ice Warriors. Polly and Ben leave. Dodo. No, that's the first Doctor. I'm sorry. Victoria comes in. Victoria leaves. Zoe comes in. Jamie comes in. The Doctor meets the Daleks. The Doctor doesn't he meet the Daleks twice? He meets the Cybermen. He meets the Cybermen twice.
I believe there's 2 Patrick Troughton Dalek arcs that are completely missing.
It's just there's so many groundbreaking episodes that are missing that it's almost unbearable that they're gone.
I'm still hearing rumors on some episodes that have been found. I have no idea what to say about those at this point, because Bleeding Cool is still reporting them. People from higher up in the BBC have said that they're there, and other people from higher up in BBC says no, there's nothing. Some people say there's like 3 or 4 episodes. But I do hope that there are a lot of Patrick Troughton episodes that have been found. I really am hoping for that, because, I mean, granted, what was it, 2 years ago they found The Underwater Menace Part 4 and another episode that I can't remember. Or maybe it was episode 2 of The Underwater Menace. Can't remember.
Guys, what if they do a big 50th box set and they're just waiting?
That's what some people are speculating.
Like a giant box set of the missing episodes or something like that.
A giant box set of all 50 years of Doctor Who.
Oh, gosh.
Imagine how costly that would be.
Shada while we were waiting. Like, they have it all recorded. They were just waiting for the 50th anniversary to release it.
Shada's ready.
That was their plan all along.
Oh, my God.
Maybe they're waiting for 75 years.
Yeah, I know, right? Moving on. What don't we like about William Hartnell? And let's keep it to one thing, Alexis.
I only said one thing.
No, shut up. One thing.
What? Why am I getting yelled at? I didn't do it.
Damn it, Alexis.
You like to talk a lot.
I'm sorry.
I'll go first if you can't think of anything.
Go for it.
Scott?
The sound design was awful. Trying to sit through the War Machines, it took me many more hours than it should have to get through it because I kept having to turn it off because my ears were hurting. Because throughout the last 2 or 3 episodes, literally the alarms are going off almost the entire way through the episode, and people are trying to talk over them. It was very bad. And I noticed sound direction was bad in a few others, notably the Gunslingers and a couple others that I can't think of off the top of my head. Or the Gunfighters. I mispronounced that, but yeah. Sound direction, very bad.
One thing that I didn't like about William Hartnell, and I can agree with you that with the $1.25 budget that they had for William Hartnell,
That much?
exactly that.
They were really bringing in the big bucks.
Less British pounds. That's saying something. But back in the 60s, $1.25 could have bought you a new car, so that's saying a lot. Right now, if you watch the Dalek invasion of Earth, you look closely, there are vinyl walls printed with the TARDIS print in the TARDIS. Vinyl walls, people.
I think I remember
that. There are vinyl walls. The Daleks, there are cardboard cutouts of Daleks in the background. There are only, I think, 3 live Daleks in that whole episode. The rest are cardboard cutouts. Or the Daleks spinning around the same corridor 5 or 6 different times with 3 or 4 different shots to make it look like there are more than one. I mean, if you look closely, you'll see that the console has fingerprint marks, and the time rotor has fingerprint marks, and the time rotor's wobbly and wibbly. I mean, it's almost disgusting to watch, but then again, it's like, ooh, classic TV, yay, the charms.
When we were at Ozfest, I went into the movie room, and I can say, I have seen movies with less budget.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. And one of those is now on Netflix, I found out. So
be grateful that you have what you have, kids.
At least it had a bigger budget than classic Star Trek, but that's a whole other issue.
Hey, classic Star Trek was awesome.
It is awesome.
Don't diss the Kirk and Spock. That sounds like a German word right there. Kirk and Spock.
Kirk and Spocken.
Kirk and Spocken.
No.
The Kirk and Spocken uhura bura.
You just went Swedish.
Yeah.
Morgan.
Uhura soon.
Sorry if any of you listeners are Swedish. I do.
This is apparently now a Star Trek podcast in Swedish.
Yes. Well, yes.
Anyway, continuing. Yes, as everybody else said, I don't like the whole dollar budget. The thing that annoyed me, going off what Scott said about the sound design, yeah, the sirens were annoying, but maybe this is just the quality of the videos that are out now. I don't know if this is just the technology that I have, but I kept having to adjust the sound constantly, and that is like my biggest pet peeve when watching something.
I have to do that all the time, watching Classic Who.
I know.
I tried watching Peter Davison last night. I didn't get very far.
Yes, I totally agree. Okay, so, oh shit, there was something I wanted to say about William Hartnell. I can't remember what I wanted to say. Oh crap. Okay, never mind. Maybe we'll talk about something else and it'll come back to me.
You thought he was too old.
No, yes. He was too old. He doesn't appeal to the youngins.
Back in my day, the doctor was still in diapers.
Back in my day, the doctor was 55. And
back in my day, the doctor was an old man who had a pension. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how we got there, but
yes, but I think showing that William Hartnell was an amazing doctor, and a lot of the people who are complaining about that he is too old are like, he's not going to be agile enough and able to do things. It's like, well, there have been older people in the show.
I had a very interesting comparison today that when Jean-Luc Picard, when we'll get it out eventually. When Patrick Stewart, there we go, announced to be the lead Captain Jean-Luc Picard in the new Star Trek series, people got really pissed off because they're like, oh, Patrick Stewart's too old to be a captain. He can't be a captain. And he's now one of the most beloved Star Trek captains of all time. So
Yeah.
I'm predicting the same thing for the 12th Doctor. Look at some of the classic Doctors. I mean, they were all in their 40s or 50s when they started, excluding Peter Davison, who was 29. But they were all older when they started the role. And they're all loved and cherished in their own special way. I mean, they all still have a huge fan following. The only thing that Matt Smith has going for him is he has a huge fangirl following. And that's who I believe the show is being written to, is the huge fangirl following.
And it's
This
unfortunate.
casting of an older Doctor will appeal to a lot larger audience than a fangirl following.
Including me.
Including me, too,
For the
yes.
first time in years.
Including me. Well, I respect Matt Smith's acting ability and everything. I just think that the writing
definitely.
that he got was catered to the lowest common denominator. What, Scott? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying I completely agree with you on Matt Smith's acting ability. He is fantastic. Yeah. It was not his fault that his era was not my favorite.
That Moffat was being Moffat.
And it's not Colin Baker's fault that JNT was porking every girl.
And boy.
And boy.
God.
And toaster.
Ugh.
And toaster. And question mark. Okay, moving on. Let's go through some of the more notable companions that the Doctors had. Let's just go with our favorite companion, with the second Doctor. Who's our favorite second Doctor companion? You can do a pairing, Scott. It's okay.
Well, I would definitely have to say Jamie and Zoe for the second Doctor, obviously, because Jamie was incredible in his role, and Wendy Padbury, she looks so good in that shiny outfit.
Which was silver, not purple.
I've seen some color photos from the set. I believe it was purple.
Not colored, colorized. Fraser Hines attested to say that this jumpsuit was silver, not purple.
Was it?
Yes, it was silver. People who colorized the photos colorized the jumpsuit as well. It was silver. Even Wendy Padbury herself said that the jumpsuit was silver.
Oops.
Purple would have been too dark for the screen. Even for a black and white film, purple would have been too dark.
Even if it was a light purple?
Even if it was a light purple, it still would have been too dark.
You've got probably a very good point. I'm going to see something real quick, but I can keep talking.
True.
Okay, Scott does that. Alexis, who do you...
I'm gonna just pick Zoe. Just, not that I don't like Jamie, but I feel like I have to pick one. And if I had to throw one off a cliff, it'd be Jamie. Had to. Not that I would.
I agree. You know, I'm going to just say Jamie, because I think that Jamie, for the first time, was A, a solo companion who was not attached to a woman, and B, not in love with the Doctor. They were just friends. And Patrick Troughton and Fraser Hines became very close friends during the filming of that, and even afterwards, they were very close friends. And I heard this funny story where it was Fraser Hines telling this at Hurricane Who. He said that when there was a line that, of course, you heard in our opening, where Jamie said, "Doctor, look at the size of that thing." And the Doctor responded with, "I know, Jamie, I know." And it became a huge inside joke that it became written in as an inside joke, obviously, between all the episodes. When the Doctor came back for the two Doctors during the Sixth Doctor era, Troughton specifically mentioned in his contract that the script will have that banter between the Doctor and Jamie. "Doctor, look at the size of that thing," and the Doctor saying, "I know, Jamie, I know," or he will not do it. He made it very clear that it was going to happen like that, or it wouldn't happen at all. Which is awesome. I quite enjoy Fraser Hines very much. His character very much developed. I would have liked to seen a lot more from Jamie, though. Unfortunately, a lot of his stuff is missing, along with Zoe's and everyone else's. So, okay, Scott, did you find what you were looking for?
No, I was just doing a test, and it came out inconclusive. So,
Which is
on a photo of Zoe that had been colorized, I went and turned it to black and white to see if it would have been too dark. And I mean, it looked the same as a black and white photo, but you could, have a silver one and turn it black and white, and it would look the same. So,
well,
Who
we could
knows?
always tweet Fraser Hines himself and ask him, but I mean, that's a far-fetched
Oh,
idea right there.
he'd
dude.
probably respond knowing him. He's very good at that.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so first
um,
Doctor
mov-
Companions.
moving on to first Doctor companions that we liked. I would like
I
to start out by saying that my favorite first Doctor companion is Barbara's Buffont because it's huge and it never depleted throughout the whole time she was there. And somehow, if it started to deplete and she went off screen, she came back on. Poof! It's back again.
She
What?
always had that mirror and comb and hairspray in her back
Yes.
pocket.
yes.
But anyway, enough of those
Um,
little jokes. Who are your guys' favorite first Doctor companions?
I'm gonna go with Ian, who was played by William Russell. I like the banter he had with Barbara and the Doctor. I so that is why I loved the kind of weird, un, unwilling friendship that he developed with the first Doctor.
Who?
It,
Ian?
Ian,
Oh, okay.
Ian, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Is that all? Okay.
That's my 2 cents.
My favorite first Doctor companion, and granted, I have only seen one arc with her in it, and I have not had time to watch more. I'm gonna have to say Dodo. She did very well in the arc that I watched, and I believe it was the War Machines. I think she made that worth watching. Her and the first Doctor and their kind of banter back and forth.
I
Like I
like
said, I don't know too much about her, but I would have to say her because Susan got annoying after a while.
Susan was a little girl, which was understandable why she was annoying. I did like
Yeah.
Dodo. She was very much mature and mature but friendly. And when she first met Polly in the War Machines, she wanted to go dancing. That was the first thing she wanted to do. I mean, out of all in time and space, she could have gone to a restaurant, but the first thing she did was go dancing. And I thought that was kind of hilarious. But I did like Dodo. Unfortunately, a lot of her stuff is missing as well. But still a very good companion, very much unrecognized companion. But Dodo, they actually brought in Dodo to appeal to a younger, more hip audience because hey, it was the mid '60s, and that was their whole reason behind bringing her into the show.
Those
Uh,
young kids.
to appeal to the young kids, exactly. And unfortunately, it just didn't work because they wanted to bring in maybe a new younger person like Polly, who would have a younger person along with her, Ben, since Dodo didn't really have a love interest, unfortunately. So that's why they got rid of Dodo, was because they wanted like a male female companion for the TARDIS. See, the more you know.
Makes sense. I wish they would do that again. It kind of worked with Amy and Rory, but
But it wasn't to
eh.
the point where it was like so fucking lovey-dovey every single episode. It
Mhm.
was just, we understand Polly and Ben are together. We get it. End of story. That's it.
They don't have to
With
flaunt it every
every
episode.
episode with Amy and Rory, it was, oh my god, our love is in question. Oh my god, I love you. Oh my god, I hate you.
Uh,
Oh my god, our love, our love.
I waited 2,000 years. Oh
like
no!
nobody gives a shit anymore.
Exactly.
It was so overdone, yeah, that it
Yes.
just became almost a running gag of how bad it was. But
Yes.
yeah,
Okay,
Like
moving
they
on.
would, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, moving on because of time. Who is our least favorite Second Doctor companion?
Ah, don't everybody talk at once now,
Yeah,
but
I will willingly
it's
go first. Um,
okay.
I am not a fan of Polly. I like her, but I haven't seen too much of her that I can really get into her. I don't like Polly.
I'm gonna have
That's
to agree. All of all the companions that I have seen, of the second Doctor I've liked. I have not seen. Was she in Tomb of the Cybermen?
Um,
Or
I
was
think so.
okay?
Because Polly and Ben, Polly was staying
Yeah.
with Ben until, oh God, I don't even remember. And then Victoria took over. And then it was Victoria and Ben, and then Ben left, and then it was Victoria and Jamie, and then Victoria left, and then it was Jamie and Zoe.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to agree, Polly,
Oh my
because I
God,
didn't
hang
mind
on.
Victoria.
Oh wait, hang on. I was gonna say I thought Fraser Hines replied. Nope, somebody else replied. Somebody else who saw our tweet. Hang on. But anyway, continue.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah. Okay. I feel bad saying Polly because I haven't seen much of her, so I feel like I haven't given her the fair chance that she deserves. But I absolutely adore Jamie and Zoe, so process of elimination
That's exactly
says
how my decision was. Sorry if you're
that.
still out there, Polly or Polly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry if
what?
you're still out there. No offense. We just haven't seen hardly anything with you in it.
But I'll be happy to watch
Yes.
more and
If
fall in love with you.
yeah,
So
if
yes,
if any come out, we would be more than willing to watch. It's a matter of finding those episodes.
Yes, exactly. All right. So, who is our least favorite First Doctor companion?
for me, it's between Barbara and Susan. Um, I'm gonna have to say Susan though. Not that I don't absolutely adore Susan, but it just got every once in a while there was that little irksome. Oh my gosh, you're being such a bratty little teenager. Stop it.
Yes, Scott.
I would have to say Barbara. I did not like Barbara. I liked Ian. Did not like Barbara. I don't even know how to explain it. It just she did not. She she was disinteresting to me. Just
Hmm.
I wasn't interested at all in her story or backstory or anything.
I wasn't a fan of Steven Tyler. Didn't like him.
I
Don't
completely
like
forgot
his
about him.
episodes.
I completely forgot about him, and I pictured the musician in my head, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I know. Uh,
Aerosmith traveled with the Doctor for a while. Didn't you know that?
I
Ah.
the yeah, I know, right? Peter Purves played in a lot of great episodes. Um, Peter Purves was also another actor that they recycled. He was in the same episode as a different character that he was introduced in as Steven.
Oh
But
gosh.
I don't like him as a companion. I love the episodes that he's in though. A lot of them are missing as well. Okay,
Although,
moving on.
that being, can I have a thought?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no
Pushing.
problem. I like I said, I absolutely adore Susan. What I would like to see because there's been talk about bringing her back. There always is every
Yes.
once in a while, but I would like to see a more mature, older Susan. I would like to see how she would react to the Doctor, after he left her.
Yes.
But that is all.
Well, I have to agree. You bring up a very interesting point, and I've seen a lot of people contemplating that this 12th Doctor will actually run into Susan, um, where there will be a Susan regeneration scene or something like that. Something I do want to mention, though, there's a lot of debate going on out there that Susan is actually even Time Lord herself. Some say that she's actually human. We all know that she's actually the Doctor's granddaughter. That is a given no matter what. Um, but
She
there's
could
a
have
lot of debate
adopted.
out there saying whether or not she's actually human or she's Time Lord. Personally, my own concept of Time Lord society is that Time Lords start out as human, and the more they're exposed to the time vortex radiation, the uh, the more Time Lord abilities they gain, like regeneration or the two hearts, or something along those lines. So the longer they're exposed to the vortex, the more Time Lordy they become.
Well, the two hearts, I
Um,
believe, is just straight being Gallifreyan, and
Yeah, that's
then
why.
the regeneration, everything comes from being an actual Time Lord.
yes.
That's how I understood it, anyway.
Yeah, from what I understood, the regeneration, like the Time Lord Society or High Council or whatever you want to call it, gives it to you. They're kind of like, from what I understood, and I'm gonna get a little sciencey here, like the nanogenes that are kind of being developed right now in our own labs. Fun science facts for the kids. And they give those to you, and then they become active when you are injured and whatnot.
That does make sense. Oh shit! What was I gonna say? Yep, there went another thought right out my mind. Um, well, oh yeah, another thing that I've seen a lot with the 12th Doctor going on now is a lot of people are calling it his last regeneration. That is not true. The Doctor said that the Time Lords regulate. Every Time Lord has up to 13 different bodies before he is forced to be killed or forced to stop regenerating by the Time Lord Council. So, the Doctor technically has as many regenerations as he wants, but because the Time War and Gallifrey are in the Time Lock, the Doctor can go forward and have as many regenerations as he wants without being stopped.
You know what would be a cool episode? The Time Lords, I don't know, they get out of the Time Lock or something, which might happen in the 50th. Who knows?
Hopefully. They need to bring back Gallifrey.
And then he has to be like, no, I need to keep regenerating. But that's a whole other thing. I would like to watch that. Get on that, writers.
Yeah, hop to there, Moffat. Or, as they say in France, Moffat. I don't know.
Can we have a new head writer, please?
Yeah.
He's not bad at writing. He's just bad at show running.
He's bad at show running and talking.
And, yeah.
I know, right? But,
I absolutely adore his single stories, but not his arcs.
He's got one of the best episodes of all time under his belt, Blink.
Yeah.
And The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances, those are two also fantastic episodes that he wrote. I mean, we know he can write. I just don't understand why he can't keep that creativity going.
I think he has trouble planning out these long story arcs, and he has all these crazy ideas and stuff that might be cool, but he just has a fulfillment issue.
And he hates two-parters.
Yes. He's allergic to anything that comes in twos.
Except for The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances, for some reason.
Just, Scott, go with the flow. Just don't.
I'm trying to get our listeners the most knowledge possible.
Yeah, I know. Right? Listeners, if you don't walk away from this podcast not knowing something about Doctor Who, then we have not done our jobs.
And if you're listening to this with no background in Doctor Who, I don't quite understand you. Not that I don't value you as a listener. I just don't understand.
Oh, here's something I do want to go over. The first Doctor and the second Doctor both met some very, very interesting villains. What were some of your favorite villains from the first and second Doctor eras?
The Celestial Toymaker. That's all.
I wish I could watch that arc in its entirety. I wish they would have brought him back in the Sixth Doctor Lost season. But, yeah, I agree. The Celestial Toymaker. I would have to say, obviously, the Daleks. But if we're talking the enemies that haven't come back, First Doctor, I would have to say, I don't know. Second Doctor, I would like to see the Crotons make a return.
Maybe not as a feature-length enemy, but maybe as kind of like a supporting actor enemy. Does that make sense?
I think they could do them.
I comprehend.
I think they could do it as the main enemy. They would have to tweak them a little bit, obviously.
Tweak them a lot.
Well,
they'd have to get them croutons out of their salads. But
them little croutons are starting to act up my reflexes. Yes.
You're taking all our smart people.
You're taking all our smart people. Such a shame. But
that was actually a fairly good arc of the second Doctor that I watched, the Crotons.
I just want to mention all of them that I can off the top of my head. Let's see. You have the Meddling Monk, which was another Time Lord character that was very awesome. You have the what was his name? The War Master in the War Games, or the Game Master, the Game Warden. He was in the War Games. He was also another Time Lord character. You have the Crotons, of course, the Daleks, the French, which was a First Doctor enemy.
The Aztecs.
Well, I'm serious. I'm serious.
I know.
The
It's funny because
I
it's a British
fire in
show.
your general direction.
Fart in your general direction. Told them we already got one.
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries.
Yes. One day I shall come back, you see. Well, good, we shall be waiting for you. Okay. That would have been a completely weird ending to that whole movie, huh?
They need to do a Doctor Who Monty Python mashup.
I agree. We are the Daleks you will exterminate. I will not exterminate you. I will fart in your direction and then exterminate your bodies, you pepper pots of love. Okay.
Why haven't I seen Monty Python? That reminds me.
Why haven't you? Watch the Holy
We're
Grail.
going
It's
to
like
end
the
this
best
podcast
movie
right
ever.
now, and then we're going to slap Alexis for not seeing Monty Python. One. No, I'm kidding.
Anyway.
There were so many great enemies and villains and story arcs from the first and second Doctor that unfortunately did not make it, that it was almost unbearable. Now we can read them in the Target novels, which is kind of awesome. But, it's kind of awesome to read the Target novels and find out what actually happened, and then, Target novels are a two-way thing. You can turn the script into a Target novel, and you can turn the Target novel into a script, which gave me another crazy idea. What if this 12th Doctor, they rewrite some of the scripts that are missing?
Ooh, that would. Yes.
What if the 12th Doctor goes back and visits Jamie? Like in the Highlanders Part 2 or something like that.
That would be lovely to see.
I would like to see them take the Sixth Doctor Lost season and use some of those scripts.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Bring in the Celestial Toymaker again.
Yes.
Do the Nightmare Fair.
12th Doctor, somehow it just makes sense. I was looking at the picture of all the 12 Doctors up against each other, and I see Peter up with all those other Doctors, and somehow he fits in. He's not out of place. He fits in magically.
His last name doesn't quite fit in yet, but I'm sure over time I'll get used to it.
No, well, you have Hartnell,
Troughton, Pertwee, Baker, Davison, Baker, McCoy, McGann, Eccleston, which doesn't fit either, Tennant, Smith, and Capaldi.
Well, maybe he should be like Mick Capaldi.
Mick Capaldi, hold
Yeah.
Capaldi?
But I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. We'll have to be wrapping up soon, but I've seen a few other people mention this. As we all know, the Valyard becomes between the 12th and final regeneration.
Yes.
What would you think of having a Valyard story with the 12th Doctor?
No.
No.
It's not time. They don't need to do it at the beginning.
No.
They can do it, after Capaldi's had a year or two under his belt. Maybe then they could introduce the Valyard, or maybe, what if maybe this Capaldi Doctor is going to be like going darker and darker, then so dark, his final regeneration scene would be something to the extent of, regenerating because, not because he needs to, but because he wants to escape this dark thing he's been haunting in his mind. What if it really ends up being the Valyard?
I would love a darker Doctor.
Well, I would like to see a McCoy-styled darker Doctor with a Tom Baker sense of humor.
And Colin Baker's brashness.
We all know that Capaldi's going to be sassy.
Fuck you!
Sassy.
Have you seen Malcolm Tucker? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I want him to say fuck at least once, but as a children's show, it probably will never happen. So.
Every episode, or at least bleep it out. That's all they gotta do.
Or at least fuckity. It sounds a little bit better.
Or smeg. Make him say smeg.
Yeah. Go Red Dwarf.
Well,
Ooh, Red Dwarf Doctor Who crossover. That'd be great.
I was looking at, well, I've always had this theory that the reason why Doctor Who works is because you have either a very passive Doctor and a very aggressive companion, or a very aggressive Doctor and a very passive companion. Matt Smith was very, well, he got very aggressive, and Clara is a very, she started out kind of aggressive, but she's more aggressive passive, and their companionship did not work well together, in my eyes. But now that the Doctor is becoming Peter Capaldi, or Capaldi, excuse me, um, Capaldi is going to be very, very aggressive. As far as I can tell, I'm predicting he's being very, very aggressive. Clara will have no choice but to be passive, and she will. I think she'll be kind of like a very passive Donna, and that's what I'm predicting her character will be. A passive Donna.
Passive Donna, that sounds like an oxymoron,
It
but
does. Oi, spaceman. Never mind.
Skew! What?
did I say that? But
Exactly.
do we
But
have any? Oh, go on.
no, I was gonna say, yeah. That's all I was gonna say. Was yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that we've covered so much tonight. I don't want to give everybody a headache. So, any final thoughts from anybody?
Don't put a sock in a toaster. Don't put jam on a magnet. Treat your neighbor as if they were somebody who lived very close to you.
And stay far, far away from John Nathan Turner.
Wise words.
Wise words.
I don't think
Wisdom
wiser
from
words
James
have ever
and
been
Scott.
said.
Yes, exactly.
All
Yes.
right. Well, I think we should bid our listeners farewell for now.
So, well,
So,
yes, of course. So, this has been Mad Fans with the podcast. I'm James,
I'm Alexis.
And I'm Scott.
and we'll see you next season.
Good night, everyone.